Now that you press play, I can't stop laughing. I can only imagine the people the minute this video comes on and this is the scene. Let me see how it looks on the thing. I can't believe what we're doing here. Oh, all right, go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Strangers in Exiles podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Toyrak. This is my co-host, Daniel Toyrak Sr.
Hello, everybody. This is going to be by far the dumbest episode we've ever done. There's a doll on the table with 2 candles.
Just so everyone knows what we're doing here. This is the last episode of Satanism, and we're going to do like a mock preview of what a ritual it is for them.
We got some mood music.
So we're
actually, it's funny because this video is actually called "The Call of Baphomet." Like it's for real. Yeah.
Okay. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the video. It helps us out, helps more people find the channel, and if you enjoy the content, we'd appreciate it.
I don't see how anyone will not enjoy this particular episode. This is gonna be okay.
Yeah, so as I was saying before, we're doing like a little fake ritual of what they would do in their Satanist churches or rooms, whatever it is.
Yeah, basically last week we discussed it in detail. Today I actually want to do a ritual from beginning to end, including all of the chants from the Book of Leviathan. Yeah. In other words, we're not doing this to conjure up anything. We're not doing this for any other purpose than number one, informative. Even though the priest, who's going to be me today, I'm going to be the priest. I'm going to be laughing most of the time, but. And also, and I told Junior even before, the effectiveness of this ritual, I don't think is going to be effective anyway, because we're in a very lit room. You're supposed to be in a dark room where the only lighting is from the candles, which thank you to Michael's, they had these. And also, I want to give a big shout out to my neighbor, Gatti, who provided us with our altar of flesh. So she was able to provide that. And I'm sure it's a Disney princess or something, but, you know. This is our altar of flesh. So yeah. Anyway.
So we talked about it last week, the 13 steps of their satanic ritual. And now we're going through the actual doing of it. So if we want to do, like you said, a checklist of all the items.
Yeah. I told Junior, let's just make sure that we got everything on right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 1 is what, Junior?
Clothing, black robes.
Okay. Right off the bat, we don't have black robes. You have a black shirt on. Yeah. I'm wearing a green shirt.
Close enough.
Should I go change?
Nah, whatever.
I don't think it's going to make a big deal. Okay. Just so you know what this ritual is for. You know, I'd like, we're going to do a lust ritual. Basically, I'm going to perform as a satanic priest. I am going to perform this ritual. Today, Junior is going to a Miami Heat game. I am going to perform this ritual so on one of the Miami Heat dancers to fall in love with Junior, one of the Heat cheerleader girls. All right. So that's what this ritual is going to be for, so that Junior can, one of those girls, unbeknownst to her, she's going to see him up in section 400 and fall in love with him. So, all right, that's what we're doing it for. So,
next is the altar of flesh, which we have in front of us.
Oh, we do have an altar. So, yeah, we messed up on the robes. I wasn't going to spend money on robes just for one episode. But, yeah, we have the altar of flesh. Thank you, Kat.
Next is the symbol of Baphomet.
Our little friend here, Baffy Duck. Remember Baffy from last episode? Everybody loves him. It's after Baphomet, so we call him Baffy Duck, Baffy. Or Sean next door, Shawnee boy, he calls him Bappy because he can't say Baffy. Yeah.
Next is the candles.
We got the candles. Actually, not easy finding black candles, just so everybody knows. Maybe not many Satanists in Homestead, but we had to go to Michael's and get the fancy stuff, you know. So, but yeah, we got a black and a white candle.
Next is the bell.
Also, thank you to Kat for giving me. This is what she calls the cheer bell at Jade's dances. This is what they use to, instead of like yelling, and they do this. So yeah, got the bell.
Next is the chalice.
Oh man, look at this chalice. Isn't this medieval right here? This is la cafetera. This is the espresso thing. So it's silver. The guy said silver, no gold. All right. So yeah, we have a chalice here.
Mm-hmm. Next is the elixir.
The elixir's inside is basically BJ's water. Yeah, I didn't want to get fancy with it. I didn't want to add any sort of things, but just BJ's water is the elixir.
Next is the sword.
Oh, look at this sword. The sword of letter openers. Yes, we have a sword, a nice, beautiful sword. It even looks like satanic with all of the stuff on it. Yeah.
Next is the phallus.
Also, thank you to Kat. Kat was clearing out her fridge, and she was going to throw away a cucumber. And I'm like, wait, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need for this thing that we're going to do. And then she asked me, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm going to perform a satanic ritual. And she said, oh, really? Like, she didn't even say, it wasn't even like a shock to her or nothing.
Next is the gong.
Oh, no, come on. That was weak, bro.
I
That was weak. That was weak. That was weak. That was weak. That was good. That was good. That was good.
Next is the parchment.
Oh, yeah. We do have the parchment. We do have the parchment. It's right here. So this is used so Junior can draw whatever he wants to draw is according to the end goal. You know, remember the person that is the ritual is being performed. For instance, this is a multiple person ritual where I'm acting as priest. He is the one that we're doing the ritual for. He would draw his desire. So, for instance, that Miami Heat dancer. That's what he would draw on this. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
And that was actually everything. That was the last thing.
Okay, so we have everything we need.
Yeah, we're good.
So we're ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, now remember, guys, I have to say this. I am a born-again Christian. I am a pastor at a Baptist church. I am not a Satanist. I have zero, I put zero weight in any of this. Obviously, if you look at, we're literally making fun of these people at this point. But for me, it's amusing. You know, look at our altar of flesh. I mean, it came from China. Our cafetera was from Sedanos or something, you know. We don't even have a real sword, for crying out loud. Look at this, it's a toy. We don't have a real Baphomet, we have a duck. No, we don't have a goat, we have a duck. In other words, the only reason I'm doing this is to show you from start to finish what actual Satanists do at whatever 4 or 5 in the morning. This is what they do. I am going to read everything directly from the Satanic Bible, and it's all going to be blasphemous. It's going to be heavy. Like, I can't believe he just said that. I'm simply reading from their books. So once again, this is not a real ritual. This is just showing you what they will do. Obviously, they would have a real chick. They would have other candles. I mean, they definitely wouldn't have this. I mean, this is definitely unique for our thing. And then their Baphomet would be the actual one, not Amazon duck. And then their gong wouldn't suck like this one does. So, yeah. See, apparently you've gotten into the gongs now. Now Dylan got a gong too. Yeah, one of my son's friends. So.
Okay, so I guess we could start with the steps. The first step is dress for ritual, which halfway there.
Yeah.
Next is to assemble all of the devices for ritual, which we did here. Altar of flesh, feet pointing north, head pointing south, which we
did that.
Yeah,
pretty
we did
good.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now purification of the air by ringing the bell.
Okay, so we're technically going to begin right now.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so now technically you don't talk anymore. So now I run this. All right. All right. You ready? You ready for this? All right. Think about that dancer. Think about her. And by the way, they got a couple chunky ones. Yeah, I don't know. Like your mother was like, "Oh, look, they have a couple like little gorditas that are you know the body shaming." Okay, let's get back to it. All right, ready? In the name of Satan, the ruler of the earth, the king of the world, I command the forces of darkness to bestow their infernal power upon me. Open wide the gates of hell and come forth from the abyss to greet me as your brother and friend. Grant me the indulgences of which I speak. I have taken thy name as a part of myself. I live as the beast of the field, rejoicing in the fleshly life. I favor the just and curse the rotten. By all the gods of the pit, I command that these things of which I speak shall come to pass. come forth and answer to your names by manifesting my desires. Oh, hear the names: Abaddon, Adramelech, Apush, Ahriman, Ammon, Apollyon, Asmodeus, Astaroth, Azazel, Baalberith, Balaam, Baphomet, Bast, Beelzebub, Behemoth, Beherit, Baal, Chemosh, Simmeries, Coyote, Dagon, Dambala, Demogorgon, Diabolus, Dracula, Emma O, Euronymous, Fenris, Gorgo, Haboram, Hecate, Ishtar, Kali, Lilith, Loki, Mammon, Mania, Mantus, Marduk, Mastema, Melech Taus, Mephistopheles, Metzili, Mictian, Midgard, Milcom, Moloch, Mormo, Nema, Nergal, Nihasa, Nija, Oyama, Pan, Pluto, Proserpine, Pokaka, Rimmon, Sabazios, Samael, Samnu, Sedit, Sekhmet, Set, Shaitan, Samad, Shiva, Supe, Tanmo, Tachort, Tezcatlipoca, Tammuz, Thoth, Tunrida, Typhon, Yautsin, Yenlo Wang. I now drink from the chalice. Producer was laughing on that one. Now turning counterclockwise, the priest will point the sword to each cardinal point of the compass and call forth the respective princes of hell. From the south, Satan. Wait, sword. Satan from the south. Lucifer from the east. Lucifer. Belial from the north. Belial. And Leviathan from the west. Leviathan. I will now, as priest, perform the benediction with the phallus. To the south. Oh, it's so wet. To the east. To the north. And to the west. I will now read the invocation from the book of Leviathan for the lust ceremony. Come forth, O great spawn of the abyss, and make thy presence manifest. I have, wait up. Can you hear that, producer? Like lightly in the background, but is it too light? What about now? Come forth, O great spawn of the abyss, and make thy presence manifest. I have set my thoughts upon the blazing pinnacle, which glows with the chosen lust of the moments of increase and grows fervent in the turgid swell. From the sixth tower of Satan, there shall come a sign which joineth with those salts within, and as such will move the body of the flesh of my summoning. I have gathered forth my symbols and prepared my garnishings of thee is to be, and the image of my creation lurketh as a seething basilisk awaiting his release. the vision shall become as reality, and through the nourishment that my sacrifice giveth, the angels of the first dimension shall become the substance of the third. Go out into the void of night and pierce that mind that respondeth with thoughts which leadeth to paths of lewd abandon. And now I will ask you to read the portion of the male, my young son.
Mm-hmm. My rod is a thrust. The penetrating force of my venom shall shatter the sanctity of that mind which is barren of lust. And as the seed falleth, so shall shall its vapors be spread within that reeling brain, benumbering it to helplessness according to my will. In the name of the great God Pan, may my secret thoughts be marshaled into the movements of the flesh of that which I desire. Shaham Farash. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Okay, do it after because I had to say it. Hail Satan. All right. Now, my young son, you will now go into your area of meditation, and you will think upon things of which you would like to have the heat dancer do. You have to think about it fervently. You have to think about it. You have to draw a picture of her and meditate on that. You have to think of her smells. You have to think of her sounds, of her voice. And then all of that should culminate in you finishing to completion. So, my young sir, go ahead and show us the drawing that you have conjured up. This is the drawing of the heat cheerleader dancer that you will be meditating upon. Now, my young son, also tell us some of the other things that you envision.
Oh, crap. I envision marriage, riding on the Dumbo ride at Disneyland.
Very good. That's a good one.
Yeah. Eating elephant ears.
Where? You have to be very specific. At the fair.
At the fair, I
guess.
guess.
Yeah. That's the only place you eat elephant ears.
Listening to her cheer.
Yeah, at the rally, at the pep rally. Yeah.
And smelling her perfume.
Yes, the smells that she emits, all of those things. So now, my young son, I'm going to ask you to go into a separate chamber and do this, and then come back within 30 seconds. Take with you your bride to be, and go imagine all of those things. Let us hope that this young man can be successful. My young sir, were you successful in completing your mission with an orgasm?
Sure.
Okay, let's assume that you were, right? Sure. Okay. All right. Do you now have any other requests that you would like?
No.
You don't? Okay, so we don't have to burn anything.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. So then now I will read an Enochian key. Okay, let me find the one that I was going to read. Do you want me to, young man, do you want me to read it in Enochian, or do you want me to read it in English, or both?
Just do both.
You want me to do both? All right.
Which one?
Okay, I'm going to read the second key. Okay, no, wait, let me see. Let me see if there's a better key. It's like when you talk to Muslims, like there's always a better Quran verse. Okay, we're going to read the seventh one. Ra'asa isa lamanu paradisoda oekari mi ao iala piregahe qui inu enai butamonu od ina inoasa ni paradiala casa mereji uheare kahirelanu od zodonase lucifanati caresa ta vava lezodirenu tolhami soba lo nudo he od nuame kahista ta do odessa vomedea od pibeliare itahi la rita od miame canicola rita zodakare zodamaranu ikeramikuo o da od mika ol zododa aiomome bahirele papenore idalugama elonusahi od umapelifa vauje jibijil iad. Now I will read for those that didn't understand Enochian in the common English language. The east is a house of harlots, singing praises among the flames of the first glory, wherein the dark Lord hath opened his mouth, and they are become as living dwellings, in whom the strength of man rejoiceth, and they are apparelled with ornaments of brightness, such as work wonders on all creatures, whose kingdom is and continuance are as the third and fourth strong towers and places of comfort, the seats of pleasure and continuance. O ye servants of pleasure, move, appear, sing praises unto the earth, and be mighty among us, for that to this remembrance is given power, and our strength waxeth strong in our Comforter. We will now complete the ritual. And the air is now polluted. It is done. Whoa, do you think that'll work? Like with the heat dancer? So what'd you think about all that?
I mean, certainly. Just realistically, it doesn't make sense how they think that works on anyone.
Yeah. Well, then again, I don't think you really gave the parchment thing a chance.
I guess,
I think you kind of just kind of rubbed it off. Oh wait, that doesn't. But anyway, that was the ritual from start to beginning. Obviously, we had fun with it. We had a little artistic fun with it. But that's basically what they do. Those are the words that they chant. I didn't make this up. I'm literally reading directly from the Anton LaVey Bible. And, that's that.
It's just like, it doesn't make sense how they say they don't believe in Satan. They don't believe in the supernatural, but then they do this. Like, this works.
Exactly.
They're literally, like, their whole ritual in black magic is calling upon someone that they believe doesn't exist.
All of the miracles of Jesus were all fake.
Yeah.
He was a charlatan, they would say. None of that is real. The Bible's all false, but yet this is real. Okay. All right. I mean, if Jesus making the blind man see, and Jesus healing the woman that was with the flow of blood, Jesus literally raising Lazarus from the dead, those were all fake. Those weren't real things. But this is real. If you perform these functions, if you chant Hail Satan with a gong and a ring and a bell, and hopefully a better chalice in this, then that would work. I think I did a pretty good job, considering that was my first and only time of ever being a satanic priest.
Yeah.
I thought I was professional. I didn't laugh that much. The rotten cucumber was kind of funny because it was like kind of the juices were coming out of it.
Yeah.
So it just felt weird, considering it's a phallic symbol. But yeah. So what else do you want to talk about?
I mean,
how long would that take?
That was only 24 minutes.
Man, that was a fast ritual. I guess I could have fluffed it up a little bit more, but
I mean, you just want to like talk about what they do in the other rituals?
No. I wanted to read from the other book.
Okay.
Yeah. What you do is that you close off one of those. Yeah, whichever one you want, and then just open up the other book.
So this other book that we're going to be talking out of is now the more of a commentary on the LaVey Bible.
I didn't get to do a Baffy laugh. Okay, do a gong hit. I don't know, I really enjoy watching the video of me doing the laughs. So my little buddy Baffy over here. Let me put him over here next to the chalice.
All right, now you can throw him away.
Yeah, you know, your mother doesn't want to throw him away. I don't know. She felt like a strong connection these last 2 episodes with our little satanic friend here. Yeah, basically, I read through the entire Satanic Bible. It wasn't a long read. It wasn't like, you know, it took me months. It took me a day or two. But within the chapters, it is just, it's almost like the rantings of a madman.
Yeah.
It's like very propaganda filled, you know. The guy is just, he is completely against God. He is completely against organized religion. So basically, this is his, what I would call, this is his theology. These are some quotations from, not, I didn't highlight from every chapter, but I highlighted some that I thought were just like really like just messed up. So, all right. So from chapter 1, if you want, I could read one, then you read one. So
sure.
We kind of flow better. All right. Chapter 1. I wanted a God who would, and if you want a dialogue on these, we can. I wanted a God who would punish me for my sins, a God I could blame for my misfortunes. Okay.
Sure. I mean, our God is that God.
Exactly.
So,
like, he is a God that punishes me for my sins, but I don't blame him for my misfortunes.
yeah, but people do, so you can.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Next one is
Why would God allow that to happen?
Next one is the God you save may be yourself.
Yeah, he repeats that several times throughout the book because he, once again, he takes a view that God is not real, that you, Danny, your ego, you create your own God, and that God ends up being yourself because you end up worshiping yourself.
Yeah.
Remember, this Satanism is all about you. It is all about your happiness, your joy, your ego, your comfort, your success, all of everything pertaining to you, nothing about something greater than you or even others. Also in the first chapter, he said, hell is a place of understanding where the true nature of the universe is revealed.
I actually agree with him in a sense where it's like all these religions, their sense of salvation, paradise, heaven, whatever it is like, oh, your true understanding, your enlightenment, you're coming to your... But then what does it lead you to? It leads you to hell.
Exactly.
And it leads you to the true nature of the universe where there's right and wrong and you're punished for your sin.
Because the world is inherently sinful.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wasn't really off on that one.
Next one is from chapter 3. The worship of any deity or deities under any guise whatsoever is repulsive to a black magician.
So yeah, once again, that's just backing up what he says that, you know, they don't worship any deity. But based on that ritual we just did, it seemed like they worship Satan.
Yeah.
That's the weird part about it, you know?
Like, even if you believe in your black magic stuff, what does Satan have to do with it if you don't think he's real?
Yeah, exactly. But are you only using Satan to because it goes against organized religion, or are you actually invoking Satan, but then you don't believe in Satan? So then what are you invoking when you're doing the ritual?
Yeah.
Is it just the idea of Satan, like Satan being the antithesis of a holy, pure God?
And then if that's true, why do you need Satan to be like, why is it so rigid that you need to be doing all these steps that invoke Satan?
Exactly.
Instead of like having some other way to do your black magic.
Yeah. Why do you call him like Dark Lord?
Yeah.
If he's not real. So then what is he? Is he just the idea of you going against the church? I don't know. Next one is from chapter 4. I came to detest the sanctimonious attitude of people towards violence, always saying it's God's will. So in other words, the fact that I guess Christians will sometimes say, you know, like violent acts that occur, and they'll just kind of brush it off and say, oh, it's God's will, you know?
Next one is, we have proved many times over the 9th satanic statement that says the church and countless individuals cannot exist without the devil.
Once again, that's one of his statements that he made in the 9 statements, basically saying that the church has created the devil and uses the devil for its gain and profit. And that the day that the devil is proven not to be real, then churches will have nothing else to do. Because without Satan, you have no religion. That's his point of view. Of course, we understand that Satan is in control of this world, but our view leans more heavily on Christ, not Satan. The fact that Satan will be defeated by Christ in the end times, that is just the future goal. The fact that Jesus Christ defeated Satan by resurrecting, coming back from death. He defeated death on the cross and his resurrection. But I wouldn't say that, like, without Satan, our church will close tomorrow. You know what I mean? I would just say that, well, I guess in the sense you would have to say, I'm trying to figure out, I think now where he went with this. If there was no Satan, there would be no fall of all Adam and Eve. If there's no fall of Adam and Eve, there is no need for Christ. So I think that's where he's going at it, you know? So the fact that we need Satan, because without Satan, we really have no religion.
I think that's the more logical way, but it almost feels like it's also not what he meant here. Because he's almost like trying to rebel against modern day society. And this, I guess in that sense, the church needs the devil because you need something to, like, people need a reason to join the church.
Okay.
But then at the same time, it's the devil, sin isn't the reason we join the church. We join the church as a safe haven from sin, but also to worship Christ.
Exactly.
It's not about just only escaping the devil.
Exactly. No, I agree with that.
But the way you took it it's more a logical argument. That makes more sense.
I was looking at it more in a holistic, you know, because he says, when he says the church, then cannot exist without the devil. So since he kind of threw church in there, I was like, all right, is he talking about like a holistic thing or, all right.
Next is Satan is the, wait, did I read? I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Satan is a spirit of revolt that leads to freedom, the embodiment of all heresies that liberate.
Once again, another heretical statement from his behalf. Chapter 5, he says, this book, the Satanic Bible, has the potential to change your life. It did mine. He's the one that wrote it.
Yeah. Well, I guess the philosophy.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I guess it can change your life, just not for the better.
I mean, it didn't do nothing to me except have a fun ritual here that we had this morning or even right now.
Chapter 7 now. This is the age of Satan. Satan rules the earth.
He's not wrong in a sense that Satan does rule the earth up until Christ's second coming, but obviously he's more like proclaiming like, yeah, this is the age of Satan. Satan rules the earth. So yeah. So I think he took it more in that part, but also from chapter 7, no longer shall man's salvation be dependent on his self-denial. I'm trying to think of what he meant by that.
Self-denial of what, like your urges and your human,
yeah.
I guess, but that's not what your salvation is dependent on. That's not what we preach, at least.
Of course not. But once again, I think he's just taking a holistic approach, and he's categorizing every Christian as the same. When we are very different from the Catholics, we're very different from the Orthodox, we got different methods of worship than the Presbyterians do. That even the Southern Baptists are if a Southern Baptist walks into our church, they're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, this
is a heresy. You guys have an electric guitar. You have your piano plugs into the wall. Where are your hymn books at? Yeah. But I guess it's just at the end of the day, those type of worship things. But yeah, I think he lumps everybody in here together.
The gods of the unjust are dead.
So who are the unjust?
Yeah, what is that?
All unjust are all sinners. So he's saying the gods of the unjust are dead.
Yeah, I guess in theory, yeah. Like if you go through every god throughout history that isn't linked to Judaism or Christianity, yeah, I guess they are all dead.
But then looking at it from the other point of view, I am a sinner that is a repentant sinner, but is my God dead?
But you're justified.
Okay, now I understand where you're looking at it. All right. Okay. The twilight is done, a glow of new light is born out of the night. So once again, he's just talking about his theology there, that now they have the new light.
Now from chapter 8. For all the centuries of shouting down the devil has received, he has never shouted back at his detractors.
For all these years, everybody's like, the devil's bad, the devil's evil, and he's never shouted back. Yeah, I'm being lie. I have talked extensively about the devil, about Satan in previous podcasts that we've done. He's never like knocked on my door and said, "Hey, dude, stop talking crap about me." Even Baffy hasn't really manifested anything at me, except Sean got scared with his white eyes, like the white eyes freaked him out.
Creepy.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at the sense in a literal, direct way, Satan's never sent, I guess, sure. But all the stuff that's happened throughout history, especially against Christians, persecutions, wars, all this, Satan's never shouted back.
Yeah, that's basically him shouting through the actions. Yeah. He has shown himself, this is Satan has shown himself to be a model of deportment, but now he feels it is time to shout back. So this is Anton LaVey creating the Satanic Bible and the Satanic Church over there in California, basically shouting back saying, you know what? For all these years, all y'all Christians have been bashing my friend Satan. Now he wants to fight back. So I'm going to open up a church. I'm going to put a naked lady on top of an altar, and we are going to hail Satan. So Satan is shouting back at that point. Is it Satan or is it Anton LaVey? Then again, you could say it is Satan because Satan is using Anton LaVey to spread his own fame. But then again, why would Satan want people to worship himself?
But that's where I think that it is Satan, because they don't directly worship Satan.
But they are on the backside.
It's almost like a sense of pride for him being, the embodiment of all sin.
But is Satan so dumb to create a religion that supposedly honors him, but they don't believe in him? Like, I'm just thinking, if I'm saying, yeah, what master plan should I come up with today? Oh, I am going to speak to Anton LaVey and have him create a religion that goes against the church. Yeah, he's going to call it Satanism. But he's going to write in his Bible that he doesn't believe in me. Oh, man.
I mean, realistically, I can't think that Satan is so dumb to think that he's going to like win in the end. Realistically, you see the Bible, you see the prophecy, you see what's going to happen. You have to assume that for him, every soul taken away from Christ is a win.
Exactly. Yeah. In other words, it's almost an exercise in futility because he knows his end.
Yeah.
But if he can get one person out, two people out, this Anton LaVey creates this. Now it gets thousands of people away from Christ, away from the true gospel, away from the true message. Then, in essence, even though he knows the overall battle is lost, the small little the overall war is lost. The little battles are won.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that makes sense.
The flames of hell burn fierce and purify. They do burn fierce.
They do burn fierce. I agree with him there, but they don't really purify anything. Okay. Chapter 9. Death to the weakling, wealth to the strong.
Oh, is this where it starts to get into?
Yeah, he gets into some of that
like
stuff.
The Beatitude
Yeah, Beatitudes, yeah.
Okay. Obviously the opposite of what Jesus taught.
Of course. Prideful.
Life is the great indulgence, death the great abstinence. Therefore, make the most of life here and now.
Man, isn't that a slogan for like a billboard?
Yeah, actually.
Life is the great indulgence, death is the great abstinence. In other words, live life for today. Do it for now. Not like those Christians that deprive themselves. They spend every Sunday going to church because they think there's an afterlife. No, life ends at the end when you die. So guess what? Live it up. That's his overall message.
Yeah.
Blessed are the strong, for they shall possess the earth. Cursed are the weak, for they shall inherit the yoke. Once again, completely against Jesus' teachings.
He who turns the other cheek is a cowardly dog.
There we go. I mean, the Bible clearly says, if someone hits you, I give him the other cheek.
Yeah.
He says that you're a cowardly dog if you turn the cheek. What's wrong with you, sissy? The most dangerous of all enthroned lies is the holy, the sanctified, the privileged lie, the lie everyone believes to be a model truth. It is the fruitful mother of all other popular errors and delusions. In other words, once again, attacking the church, saying that everything that we teach, everything about the Bible, everything is a lie.
They say it's dangerous, but what is this? What is this gospel?
No, this is the truth. The truth shall set you free, my friend.
Now from chapter 10. How understandable that Holy Scripture should refer to the infernal monarch as the father of lies, a magnificent example of character inversion.
In other words, it's obvious that the Holy Scripture is going to call Satan the father of lies. But of course, for him, it's a character inversion. They have swapped it out. They've switched it out, the roles there. And once again, I think some of his ideology comes from that other Bible that I told you that I was reading. I think I closed it. Yeah, I closed it. It was another satanic Bible. But these are the ones that like actually believe in Satan, where they had a completely warped view of creation, and they made it look like Jesus was jealous of Satan, and then Jesus kind of trapped Satan, and then Satan got cast away, and then he was ultimately blamed by Jesus for being the one that caused Adam and Eve to fall. It is just, once again, they literally took the Bible and flipped it on its head to make Satan look like the protagonist and Jesus as the antagonist. For those who already doubt supposed truths, this book is revelation. So in other words, the satanic Bible. Then Lucifer will have risen. Now is the time for doubt. The reason why he uses doubt a lot is because he says that you need to go against those presuppositions that you were born and raised in. For instance, I was born and raised in church. You were born and raised in church. You have certain presuppositions that you believe in God, believe in Jesus, because this is what you've been taught your entire life. What he says is wake up and doubt. Begin to doubt what you think you know is right, and then open the door that there may be some other truth out there that is not the lie that has been propagated for the last 2,000 years. That's basically his position.
Now, chapter 11. Man has always created his gods rather than his gods creating him. I guess that's true for a lot of religions out there.
Yeah, for a lot of religions, but at the end of the day, once again, he is denying a God, creator God, or what he calls it, a heavenly daddy. And that man has created. In other words, the Abraham a bunch of years ago, 5,000, 4,000 years ago, he created Yahweh. Yeah. And then thus he then took Yahweh and he taught his sons that. And then now you have an entire race of people, the Jews, that believe in Yahweh, Elohim, Adonai. And then, of course, Christ comes 2,000 years ago. And then, they would say, oh, those Christians invented Jesus. He didn't actually die on a cross. He didn't resurrect. He didn't provide sin, salvation, forgiveness of sin. So in other words, saying that we create our own gods. And yes, I could say that for a lot of religions. The problem where I have here is that he doesn't believe in any gods creating him. He, of course, believes in evolution and all of that. Yeah. So
the Satanist knows that praying does absolutely no good. In fact, it actually lessens the chance of success. I feel like everything we just did was a sort of praying to Satan.
It was a chant, yeah. I was saying, hey, hail, Lord, whatever, come down, But yeah, but I think he means more here the Christian praying. Yeah. He's saying that it does nothing and that it actually lessens the chance of success. Of course, that's a claim that I didn't see him back up with anything. If you read the next one, actually, on that same page, I guess you can have an understanding of where he's coming at. He says, positive thinking and positive action add up to results. In other words, don't pray. That's a waste of time. It might actually hurt yourself. Have more of a positive mindset, positive outlook, and that will help out your results. Once again, that's a new age psychological type of fandango stuff.
A lot of people say that kind of thing nowadays.
Of course. Keep calm and whatever, all of that stuff.
Next is from chapter 12. Religions of a spiritual nature are inventions of man.
So once again, he just has no belief. In that same chapter, when all religious faith in lies has waned, in other words, when all religious faith in lies has gone away, it is because man has become closer to himself and farther from God, closer to the devil. So when you stop believing, when you stop having faith, it is because you're thinking more about yourself and less, and you're farther from God. And of course, he calls the ego, the id, the devil.
If you get rid of those little quotation marks, like in quotations, I guess it's like technically a true statement. Not well.
No. 100%. No, the statement is valid. I completely agree. When somebody loses their faith, but he says in lies.
Yeah.
See, the in lies is really where he's basically shooting it down. Yeah, that person has become closer. He only cares about himself and goes farther away from God.
Chapter 13. A Satanist knows there is nothing wrong with being greedy, as it only means that he wants more than he already has.
So once again, ideology that goes against any sort of humility and Christianity. It's just being greedy. It's all about you. It's all about living.
Yeah.
The next one, envy and greed are the motivating forces of ambition. And without ambition, very little of any importance would be accomplished.
Why does that have to be the motivating forces of ambition?
I don't know.
If a man smite thee on one cheek, smash him on the other.
So in other words, he went from being a cowardly dog to fight back, dude.
Yeah.
Like if somebody hits you, you punch him back. From that same chapter, if everyone goes to hell, then you will meet all your friends there.
We are tired of denying ourselves the pleasures of life which we deserve.
All right, that's a Satanist type of viewpoint. Why not have a religion based on indulgence? Certainly, it is consistent with the nature of the beast. In other words, but once again, I think he fails to understand that we are inherently sinful. So it is in our nature to want more, to sin, that's obvious. But we deny that, and he's saying, stop denying it, embrace it.
Chapter 14 now. Without a devil to point their fingers at, religionists of the right-hand path would have nothing with which to threaten their followers.
Once again, same viewpoint about the church using Satan to their advantage. How can I threaten somebody with hell unless I have someone in which hell is destined to be for? And I can't get you in line unless you understand the need for righteousness, the need for holiness, the need for sanctity. Unless I have the opposite of that. So, but of course, he's just using it, putting it down. Chapter 15. Satanism represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates.
I find these, like this one and the last one, sad. More so in the sense of the upbringing this guy, Anton LaVey, must have had, especially around religious people that he thinks that they threaten him and they show him that he's going to hell, rather than showing them the love of Christ that he would have preached.
Yeah, I don't know what his upbringing was. I didn't really read his. I saw that there's a biography,
something about the circus or whatever.
But yeah, the circus and all that. But in other words, more of the his parents and stuff, and his it's just his worldview is just so out there in comparison. And yeah, it is kind of sad that that he would. In other words, what happened at any particular church that messed him up for life, So
I almost feel bad in a sense that humans at a church probably would have failed him in that sense.
Exactly. And you know what? To that point, there are a lot of people in churches that are not that I'll be honest with you, they're not fully saved, and they do things to hurt other people. And this goes on in every church. And you can hear the stories all the time. Oh, I used to go to that church, but somebody, did something bad to me, or blah, 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 blah. And, but remember, the church itself is full of imperfect people. Everybody in church, just because they go to church, doesn't mean that they're holy. Doesn't mean that they're perfect. Nobody in church is perfect. Nobody in our church is perfect. And you're always going to have situations of people with their personalities, and they may rub somebody off the wrong way. And, people get offended and they leave. But for this guy to just kind of cast it all and say, oh, the Christians are all ingrates and they're all this and that. It's just, in other words, why love fellow Christians when come to Satanism, where you can love yourself? It's all about you.
By learning to release your hatred towards those who deserve it, you cleanse yourself of these malignant emotions and need not take your pent-up hatred out on your loved ones.
Man, what psychologist did he learn that from? I mean, it's just...
Release your hatred on those who deserve it.
Yeah, who deserve it. You cleanse yourself of the malignant emotions and then you don't need to take it up now on your love. In other words, something happens at work, right?
Yeah.
And then you get angry, right? So you get into a fight with a coworker, right? Whatever. And then suddenly out of nowhere, you don't confront that guy. You come home, now you got an attitude, you're angry. Who do you take that out on? On me, on your mother, on Tom, or later on your wife, your girlfriend, all of that. He's saying, take it out on the guy at work. Like, don't bring that crap home, and mess up your family. The problem is that those dynamics in a social environment don't always work out that way. Obviously, at work, you can have discussions, with your manager and try to have some conflict resolution. But realistically, when you get home, who is your confidant? Your confidant will be your wife. And that's the person that. So he's saying, don't bring that crap home. Leave it out the door or take care of it over there. Chapter 16, Satanism does not advocate sexual freedom, but only in the true sense of the word. Free love in the satanic concept means exactly that, freedom. To either be faithful to one person or to indulge your sexual desires with as many others as you feel is necessary to satisfy your particular needs. So in other words, free for all.
Yeah.
If you're happy with one, cool. If you want multiple, hit it up.
Chapter 17, now is where it gets like a little...
Yeah, read the first 2 lines.
Yeah.
Because they kind of go hand in hand.
Not all vampires suck blood. Satanism observes these leeches in their true light.
Now is when he starts to really attack,
The church.
Yeah. Obviously, he says that the church they just suck people dry. Recognition of these modern day demons and their methods is the only antidote for their devastating hold over you. See, now, once again, he is generalizing, but I will agree with him that there are predatory Christian organizations.
Yeah.
There are Christian organizations, they're on television, they're on radio, they're on podcasts where they literally say, oh, we, send a chat of your illness, and if you donate X amount of dollars, God will heal you. And people believe it, This was rampant in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, the 80s and 90s, there were people on TBN, on some of these channels that literally were like selling like holy water. And then, if you drink this, that's it. Your cancer will be freed or whatever, send in $100 or $200, whatever. Obviously now with the exposure of social media and YouTube, it's only more prevalent, but at the same time, I think people are more weary.
Yeah.
It's not as easy, but then again, you still have these mega churches
that do it, yeah.
The mega churches that promise this and that. Oh, healing. Oh, liberation. They love that word, liberation. Yeah. Whatever's holding you that back, it'll free you from that. The shackles. So, I guess in some sense, I do agree with him.
How often we see little children who have been sent forth by these self-righteous Fagans?
I have no idea what that word is. That's an old school word.
To painlessly extract donations from the kindly.
So in other words, this is talking about those like little kids that they send out on the street to like collect money. This is back in the 60s, a different situation. Like I'm sure back then the church had like the little kids clubs, and they would go out there and they would collect donations on the street, or kind of like when you drive around and you see like the local youth football team wanting, money or whatever. So the next one goes all the way to chapter 19. If your success or happiness disturbs a person, you owe him nothing. He is made to be trampled underfoot.
Just one of those survival of the fittest kind of thing.
Yeah, but like on one side he says love everybody, love this and that, but then if like somebody doesn't like the fact that you're successful, he is made to be trampled on your foot. Like in other words, he's garbage. He's less than you. In other words, no humility. No humility.
Next, from chapter 20 now. The Satanist believes in complete gratification of his ego.
That's obvious. Self-sacrifice is not encouraged by the satanic religion.
Okay.
It's all about you. It's all about you.
Chapter 21. The highest of all holidays in the satanic religion is the date of one's own birth.
Your birthday.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's all about you. So if everything in this world is about you, your ego is all about you. Obviously, the greatest holiday in all would be your own birthday. Every man is a god if he chooses to recognize himself as one. So I guess you can, if you call yourself a god, I guess you're a god.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Chapter 22. Any ceremony considered a black mass must effectively shock and outrage, as this seems to be the measure of its success.
Yeah, back then he used to do his black mass where it was basically everything the church did in a traditional mass, just
completely distorted.
Just horribly. No, with the naked ladies and all that. To the Satanists, the black mass in its blaspheming of Orthodox rites is nothing more than a redundancy.
All of the books about the devil have been written by the agents of God.
But there is no God.
Yeah.
I guess he's just referencing who writes them, you know? Like, in other words, the devil's never written a book about himself, is what he's basically saying there. Are there any more?
You go down a while. Chapter...
Yeah, there's like 37 chapters.
Chapter 34.
Yeah, I remember, because a lot of these were talking about what we talked about last week. The ritual and all of that. Okay, we're already ending it up. Chapter 34, love one another, you say, is the supreme law. But what power has made it so?
God.
Jesus.
Yep.
Okay.
I feel like our answer is obvious. But...
Who made that so? Jesus. Where did you get that from? The Bible. That's fake. All right, so the conversation is over.
Yeah. This is I guess a requote of another one, just adding something. He who turns the other cheek is a cowardly dog, as we said so before. A Christian dog is what he added.
He added that, a Christian dog. Yeah, no. He's really evolving his theology here. He went from he who turns the other cheek is a cowardly dog to he who turns the other cheek smashed that guy in the face to then now he who turns the other cheek is a cowardly dog, a Christian dog. So now he pinpointed it to the people that turn the other cheek are specifically Christians. Yeah. Now, why would that be? Because it's in the Bible, Anton. Okay. Blessed are the strong, for they shall possess the earth. Cursed, this is a repeat of what he did before. Yeah. Cursed are the weak, for they shall inherit the yoke.
Chapter 35 now. Knowledge is the key to life. And obviously his version of knowledge is everything that we've been talking about.
Exactly. The only way to deal with the enemy is to destroy them.
Okay. Live for yourself and you will live for others.
It is better to, I like this one. It is better to be a king in hell than a servant in heaven. And I think that was the last one, right?
There's a little bit more, like the very last bit.
Okay, yeah. Because I just felt like that was a good. It is better to be a king in hell than a servant in heaven. Oh, man. That's just blasphemous. There's the last one?
And there's like the very last thing.
Okay.
It's now Anton LaVey quoting another person.
Richard Burton.
Yeah, Sir Richard F. Burton. The more I study religions, the more I'm convinced that man has never worshipped anything but himself.
And that's a great way to end a 3-part podcast on Satanism. At the end of the day, these people are lost in their worldviews. They're lost in their views of what Christ came to do. They're lost in everything. When you deny the existence of a creator God, then how can I go to step 2 with you?
Yeah.
You know, if you tell me, okay, I'm an agnostic, I believe that there may be a God. Okay, but if you flat out, and I've seen these Satanists debate Christians on debates, there's no doorway. There's no way. It's just one of those things where either God in his sovereignty has not elected them for salvation, or the devil has blinded them, or maybe God has just hardened their heart to the point where, you know, I don't know. I don't have the answers. All I know is that out of all of the people that we've talked about, these are the most hardcore because they don't even open the door to a God. At the very least, Buddha had his things. At the very least, the Hindus, they believe in all their 35 million gods. But at the very least, they have a core that there is something. Even though the Buddhist doesn't believe in a creator God, but they do believe in gods. The Muslim believes that Allah is a creator God. You know, you can dialogue with them, but these people, they're just no dialogue. This is what they do. In order for Junior to try to get that heat dancer on his side, they have to do all of this stuff. And realistically, it's sad to go through it, but at the same time, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed these couple of episodes. This was fun. And do you want to give people a preview of next time?
Yeah, next time we're going to be talking about the what is it called? The Cuban version of Santa Maria.
Santeria.
Santeria. Yeah, I don't know why I said Santa Maria.
Yeah, no,
Santeria.
she's a saint.
Which
you know?
is essentially they're sort of they're combining their African the old African tribes and their religions, and they're combining it with Catholicism because, as we know in history, Africans were brought over to Cuba, and then also the Spanish were conquistadors. They took over Cuba, so then kind of that cultural combination created this weird Santeria religion, which is very odd. The things you've already told me is just very
yeah, we'll get into that
it's
next
out
time.
there.
I think
Yeah.
it's only a 1 episode thing. I would like to interject a video into the podcast just because the video provides more visuals rather than just me talking.
Yeah.
We did order some stuff from Amazon, you know, to kind of visuals to kind of help out with that. So just to be able to understand it more, and you know, and that'll be next time. But that's what I have for today.
Thank you guys for joining us. If you enjoyed the videos and you enjoy watching our content, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps out. And then we'll see you guys next week.
Just laughing at Jade's doll over here on my table. God bless you all. Take care.
Take care.